108.
Yes. Then multiplied also by 25 years yung 15 billion na nire-remit. So that will be the one that's be going to the government. Less yung naiiwan pa sa Transco for the operations and everything.
So, okay, sorry, slow down a bit. So it's 108 plus,
Meron kasing remittance na at the average mga 10 to 15 billion a year sa National Treasury. So you compute that also from 2009 to 2034. It goes to the government as well in the form of remittance by
because of the
Transco.
dividends law.
Yes. Kasi di ba yung mga GOCC mag-limit
Yes.
sila sa national government. So you compute that from 2009 to 2034. So that's about kung 20 years yan, that's about 300 billion pa.
Oh, so under, what you're saying is under the old arrangement, mas malaki ang kikitain ng gobyerno.
Sa gobyerno.
Okay.
Kasi ngayon yung 3% na franchise tax, all in na yun, doon na lahat eh.
Yes, but so, but the rationale there, tama ba ako, Attorney Paul, is that yung difference dapat doon is yun ang pang-invest. I mean, pandagdag doon sa dapat i-invest mo sa required na transmission infrastructure. Tama ba yun?
Difference in what, Mr. I'm
Well-
sorry, I did not get that. Difference in...
So basically, if you look at the total of concession fees
Yes.
plus the 3% franchise taxes that you are to pay annually, that is less than what Transco had been paying or would have paid had they continue operating the grid. Or so, and there's a huge difference. And so, yun ang pinag-aaralan natin.
Okay,
Kasi syempre,
yeah.
di ba, sinasabi natin, this is the time to revisit the franchise law. I
Uh-huh.
mean, do we amend?
Okay.
And if we do amend, I'm of the thinking that maybe we should look into the tax provision. Kasi
Okay.
mukhang
Yeah.
medyo lugi yata tayo. Kasi nga, as explained by Attorney Matibag, ang laki ng difference because annually, they pay corporate income taxes and on top of that, they remit about 10 to 15 billion as a result of the dividends law. So, yan po ay annual until the end of the concession period.
Mr. Chairman, I think, well, from our perspective, wala kaming palya sa concession fee payments. Number two, on the tax po, okay, we have been paying taxes based on the franchise tax as clearly provided for by
Yes,
law,
there-
which is 3%.
There's no question
Opo.
on compliance. I'm
Yeah.
just asking, is there anyone on the side of the room that I suppose yung pasubmit na lang siguro, Attorney Matibag, submit nyo na lang po sa amin yung computation na yan para matignan natin yung comparison ng revenue stream sa gobyerno, kung malaki bang kinalugi natin, if there's a need to adjust, and if there's a recommended tax rate or tax regime in case there's a need to amend. So, my next question, Mr. Chair, is something that I asked Attorney Richard earlier. So, babalikan ko po, no? Sabi ko kanina, if NGCP were to invest, were to complete its transmission development plan at na construct natin ang buong kalsada na kung saan dadaan ang electricity, bababa ang direct transmission charges, and at the same time, more importantly, bababa rin yung congestion costs, right? And so I asked you, in peso terms, what would be the impact?
Yes, ma'am. Mr. Chairman, ma'am, Your Honor. So I will base my answer, ma'am, based on our report. No? I will use the sample, yung MVIP. The MVIP based on the Transmission Development Plan of 2020 to 2040, again, was ang target completion was December 2020. The actual energization is May 2023. So that's about 12, 24, then another January, February, March, April, May. So 29 months, say 29 months. So ma'am, ang price difference po for Luzon after the completion of the MVIP is 1 peso 99 centavos, no, period to period. if that affects 20% of the generation costs, so using ration proportion, that would translate to around 40 centavos reduction, no, in the generation cost per kilowatt hour. Or if the price of generation is 4 pesos, that is roughly 10%. That's 10% actually. If the generation cost is 5 pesos, so that is 8%. For Visayas,
Pero wait,
Ma'am.
Attorney Richard, hindi ba it's as simple as kung nag-invest sila ng tama, walang delay, etc., mawawalan ng congestion? Tama.
ma'am, yung
So kung ang pag-spike ng presyo is 20% as a result of congestion, edi kung mawala ang congestion, edi yung 20% ang masasave natin. Hindi ba
Yes, ma'am,
ganun yun
but,
kasimple? So if you look at the current price today, so magkano ba ang average per kilowatt hour across the country?
is around 5 pesos right
No,
now.
I mean total electricity cost.
Per kilowatt hour, ma'am?
Yes.
That's 5 pesos, ma'am.
No.
Kasi po, I'm looking only at the generation
Oh,
cost.
sige, maybe you're the wrong person
Yeah.
to ask. 11, maybe ERC, 11 point what? 90?
Pwede po siguro 11 pesos. Pero, ma'am,
Yeah, o sige.
mahirap kasing mag-average ng ganun. Kasi po, ang layo, like, Visayas is always higher than Luzon and Mindanao. So, and I think Attorney Richard was giving us an example, Mindanao-Visayas interconnection. So, very specific po yung slice na
Okay.
napili niya.
But, sige, kayo na lang po, if I were to ask you that question, so, is there an estimate of congestion cost na overall, so that if hindi sila mag-invest as fast as they should be, ganoon kalaki yung congestion cost. And therefore, kung we have the reverse naman at nangyari naman na na-invest nila lahat ng dapat nilang i-invest on time, etc., ayun naman ay ma-avoid yung congestion cost na yun. So, may ganun ba na estimate?
Wala po na pangkabuuan. Meron po kaming estimate on a per capex project basis. We estimate the value that will be lost if this project is not going to be put up.
O sige,
meron
give
po
us a
kaming
range.
ganun. Not
Your Honor.
necessarily po eh. Sige po.
Yes, ma'am. Actually, yun po yung ina-explain ko. Because yung cost po kasi, congestion cost, affects the entire volume of electricity. So, spot and BCQ, magkaiba po siya. So, if the price difference, na sinasabi namin dito sa study, affects 20%, if you translate it to the entire 100% volume, yung 199 translates to 40 centavos reduction per kilowatt hour, or roughly 8% reduction in price.
Okay.
Sa Visayas po, that will be 0.35 o 35 centavos pala, sorry, hindi pala 0.4 centavos. 40 centavos or roughly 8% for Luzon, 35 centavos or roughly 7% for the Visayas, and 24 centavos or roughly 5% in Mindanao, basing on an average on a price of 5 pesos per kilowatt hour generation cost po yon. Yung kasi po yung generation cost, dun kami nagbe-base lang. Now,
Okay.
iba-iba po kasi yung
So ito yung indirect na pagbaba ng presyo.
potential na reduction
Okay.
in price. Yes, ma'am.
Na indirect. What about yung direct naman?
Well, actually, that can be...
Both na yun. Both direct
ma'am.
and indirect.
Direct and
Okay.
indirect. Generation cost lang po yon. Now, yung transmission...
Sa wheeling charges,
Yung transmission cost po kasi, that's yun yung binasa kanina ni Chairperson Mona Di
Walang
Malanta
effect?
po. Opo.
sa ancillary,
Sa ancillary po, pwede pong may effect na bumaba din. Depende po sa location nung plantang makakapasok. Kasi po, kung mas malapit yung planta dun sa problemang ina-address ng ancillary, bababa din po yung ancillary cost po nila.
okay, although as we know, ito yung mas maliit na component. Yes, pero maliit siya relative to itong sinasabing 8%. Okay. So basically, yun ang range. We're looking at a 5% to 8%, pero on the generation side. So masasabi ba natin na roughly speaking, 10%